Okay, we are still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Up next for us is newspaper review.
All right, our newspaper reviewer, Chukudi Okoli Ubaja, is seated. He's been in the studio, for over, I think, almost more than 30 minutes.
You can make it 1 hour.
It doesn't matter.
I was surprised. I was surprised to see you. So
is that you're here
morning.
now?
I'm not going to. You keep pulling me into further talk. You already know that I'm full of talk. Let's go on, please. It's a long story.
But today I want us to talk. Exactly, I said.
Actually, this is what happens. When my car is in a good running order, I tend to come at the last minute. When it is not, I come a lot earlier.
Just in case.
Human frailty. Do you understand?
Comfort.
I am here because the car is not in good running order. I had to leave home. I mean, I got here as early as I did because I left home earlier because the car.
And the roads are free too.
That's it. The roads are free as well. You got it.
Well, Chooks the boy, welcome.
Thank you.
You ready?
Okay, let's take a look at the headlines on the front pages of the papers this morning. And the leadership is leading this morning with the lead story. Gunmen kill 154 military police officers in 1 year. Not a good one. And the writer says, bandits kill 30 security volunteers in fresh Niger attacks. Ambush is numb in asymmetric warfare, says retired Major General. It's worrisome. Government must act, and that's according to an ex-police officer. Details of that on page 4. Away from that story, just above the masthead, we have Sultan declares tomorrow, Eid al-Fitr. Ramadan continues today. Shaibu heads to court over impeachment by Edo Assembly. So much happening in Edo State. You want to get a picture. Page 7 may guide you. Away from that, we have Okwama 17, DHQ extends search for killers to rivers. And that's on page 6. Also on page 6, you can read up EFCC recovers 30 billion naira, probes 50 bank accounts. EFCC recovers 30 billion naira, probes 50 bank accounts. Of course, the better Edo story and all of that is wrapped around this. You want to see that. Away from that, NNPC owes $3 billion backlog on petrol payments. That's according to a report. And finally, from the leadership this morning, we have CBN crashes BDC's exchange rates to 1,101 naira to the dollar. Offers $15.88 million. All right, that's the much from the front page of the leadership this morning. Quickly turning our attention to the Vanguard. Now we have the lead story, which is on the strengthening of the naira. And it says, woes for forex dealers as CBN cuts BDC rate. This has a different exchange rate. The Vanguard has 1,117 naira 50 kobo to the dollar. The writers bans foreign-dominated collateral for naira loans. Analysts attribute naira appreciation to CBN policies. Incentive for forex malpractice eliminated. That's according to APCON. Away from that story now, looking above the masthead. How Shaibu quest to stop impeachment led to his ouster. A mobile 38 sworn in as new deputy governor. Of course, the story on Eid al-Fitr happening tomorrow is also right here. And we have 3 killed as men in military uniform pick Jack Rich, Egberi Papa. He was arrested by other security agencies, and that's according to the police. That story is on page 6 on what is happening right there. And then, of course, Nigeria's inflation rate will remain high in 2024. That's according to the World Bank. Of course, Nigerians will say, God forbid to that. Looking away from that now, we have, beside the picture story, a Labour Party crisis, stakeholders to name transition committee Thursday. Bandits kill 30 vigilantes in Niger as residents flee. And Eid al-Fitr, Akpabio, governors orders congratulate Muslims, preach peace and love. All right, that's it from the front page of the Vanguard.
Okay, and on to the Nigerian pilot, where the lead story says, Shaibu impeached. 4 riders, Edo political crisis deepens as State House of Assembly impeaches Deputy Governor. Impeachment follows adoption of recommendation of 7-man judicial panel. Deputy Governor Shaibu was found guilty of disclosure of government secrets. And I was impeached over trumped-up charges, Shaibu insists. That's the major story on the front page of the Nigerian pilot. And just above that story, you have 60 PDP rep members threatened to quit over doctored documents. More on that story, you find it on page 9. Gunmen kill 30 security volunteers in Niger State. That story is on page 9 also. And Lagos High Court remands Godwin Emefiele over alleged fraud. You find that story on page 5. 16 persons die of Lassa fever in Benue State, page 5. On page 7, media bodies, CSOs seek investigation into editor's detention. LP crisis, NLC demands committee to probe Abure's leadership. That story is on page 6. And again on page 7, UNDP offers 200 million naira support to Bayelsa MSMEs. That story is on page 7. CBN stops banks from using forex-denominated collateral for naira loans. You find that on page 5. And finally, FX fraud. Court remands Binance executive in prison custody. That story can be found on page 7. Chooks the boy.
Victor, it's a full day in terms of news. Now, naturally, the Shaibu impeachment, we would say, has not come as a surprise because the build-up suggested he was a goner. It was a matter of time. You know, in Africa, in Nigeria, when the deputy to an incumbent falls out with his master, it's usually a one-way traffic to an end game for that deputy, you know. It's only in a few circumstances. Because in the case of a governor in Nigeria, for instance, he's really lord of the manor. I keep on referring to our dear Kingsley Osadolo, who will tell you the emperors are the states. But let's not go talking as if we are condemning Obaseki. No, not at all. I'm just saying what the trend is on these in these parts. Yeah, one would have said, why not let him serve out his term so he will be entitled to his benefits and all that. But you see, sometimes politics could really show the full impact of what is called sudden death in football, where you receive maximum impact from, you know, the way the game goes, has chosen to go due to circumstances and all that. So it has happened, it has happened. I don't think it would be politically reversible, maybe judicially, because he has given the impression that he's going to, you know, go to court over it. We can only wish him luck. Politicians have acted the way politics goes in our country sometimes. Like
they say in balance, leave politics for politicians.
Now you're siding in with me. I tell you, I hardly discuss politics here. I don't understand that plan. I'm not going to pretend about it. I don't understand them.
It's not a tough you're playing.
At night?
Oh, well,
I'm
a journalist, a real journalist. I want to think I'm one. Will tell you, I don't even want to be seen with a politician in public. It's not that you hate them. Their world is poles apart from yours. The way they think is not the way you think. If you have a politician friend, Victor, if you think you have a politician friend, and that he trusts you concerning whether you make public certain things that he does or not, you better think again. He doesn't. A politician doesn't trust a journalist. A journalist too does not quite. That's the way they are. It's not an indictment of any of the camps. It is the way they are. You understand? So just leave politicians to their game. If Shaibu thinks he needs to appeal, let him go ahead. He has the right to. Yeah. will write the news as usual.
Indeed.
You know, quickly, please, let us encourage vigilante in Niger not to cave in because 30 people went down. This is very important, because what is happening really, when terrorists, when insurgents come and kill people, when they kill people or do anything that actually shakes the earth, it is to cause intimidation and fear so that their terrible act will continue to thrive.
Yeah.
The only way you can upstage them eventually is not to relent in your efforts.
Absolutely.
It does not just go for the security forces. Those of our people who have also chosen to join regular forces to combat them should please not cower before them. They should not cave in. We are sorry about the deaths of these people. 30 people in a community. I mean, that's not good news. But please, the battle continues. We should never lose it. We shouldn't. On a lighter note, yesterday marked, you know, for people in is it the eastern part of the United States? The axis close to Mexico, you know, they saw a complete eclipse, a solar eclipse yesterday, as the moon aligned directly with the sun and the earth. 4 minutes. There was something that was close to...
some say 3 minutes.
Yeah, between 3 and 4 minutes. You know, that natural phenomenon is usually something to behold. And do you know the funny aspect of it? Some people decided to marry on that day. Within those few minutes. The world is so superstitious. Actually, I think it was 1947 when the monarch of Isiluku died. They said there was something close to an eclipse. And my people still believe today that the death of the monarch
led to the eclipse.
you know, Africa, the world gets superstitious. But remember that in 22 years another one will happen. I mean, scientists are able to now predict the path of the Halley's Comet, the path of eclipses and all that. So they are not even as awe-striking as we think.
Indeed.
This is natural phenomena working out, you know. That's what they are.
By the way, did you see the pictures of that? It looked so beautiful. Like,
yes.
I mean, that was, you know, what.
Yeah, how many have you seen, by the way?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
Victor, I'm going to withdraw the gentleman, you know, label I pasted on you.
I wanted us to share experience.
Why don't you leave my dear Yere that wants government to install air conditioners on farms so that young people will find it attractive? Will you please leave her alone? You can see that I'm starting.
By the way, it rained yesterday.
It rained yesterday.
How did it make you feel?
You said I should not mention farming anymore. Please, madam. Look, don't switch me on.
Don't worry.
You know who I am.
Before you get switched on, let's wish you a pleasant day and happy holiday.
You know, just say, let's switch you off. It's understood.
Nigeria returns with the conversation segment in a bit.